during long-term interplanetary space missions. So, plan of my presentation, NASA's plans for the tomorrow Mars exploration, possible complexities that may appear during long-term interplanetary missions. Hypothermia as an neuroprotective approach itself, implementation of hypothermia strategy into the development of technological solutions. NASA will plan explore Mars in 2040s, and this exploration may last for 400 days to the Mars and back from the Mars to the Earth. So you see the model tractors that was made with spacewalk software also, and reference for this work is here. So you see that during these missions we face with different complexities, especially with the long duration of missions, 400 days. So it's very dangerous for the space crew, and possible complexities that may appear. It's cosmic radiations. You know that from the sun we obtain different waves, different different irradiation with different waves, like gamma rays, X-rays, and etc. So increasing in intracranial pressure, so in the brain, alteration of immune system, and different consequences of altered gravity because of when we change gravity. We obtain atrophy of muscles, depletion of bone tissues, fluid shifts, and as a consequence, we obtain some problems with the brain neurotransmissions because of fluid shifting causes different problems with the oxygen supply, and you see that glutamatergic neurotransmissions, with help of which our brains work. First of all, it's K neuroexcitatory transmitter is glutamate. So our work was built on the mechanism, research of mechanism of transport this neuroexcitatory transmitter, and you see that in the presynaptic terminal and dendritic spinal or postsynaptic membrane, glutamate passes to the different receptors, for especially NMDA, AMPA or kinetic receptors. And during unchanged neurotransmission signal, we see the balance between the uptake and release of this transmitter from the presynaptic membrane. So you see that vesicles formate in the presynaptic membrane, and after the release and after the action of different factors, for example, calcium ions or potassium or sodium ions changing, we observe transporter-mediated release. And in the hypoxia case, the level of potassium and sodium ions are changed, and on the in the extra synaptic cleft, you see that potassium ions releases from canals, and sodium ions pushed into the postsynaptic membrane, and this balance changed. So, transporter-mediated glutamate release under altered gravity conditions and normal temperature 37 degrees. So we use a special substance, FCCT. It's uncoupler of the ATP synthesis. It's we used this uncoupler for the creation artificial hypoxia as in the case similarly to the hypoxia during changed gravity. So you see that the glutamate release percentage approximately 20%, and in the unchanged conditions and at the gravity conditions, we see that about 30.5% of released glutamate. Benzyl oxyaspartate we used for the confirmation of action of the transporter-mediated release. So it was confirmed, and for the prevention of this negative influence of altered gravity, different researchers said that hypothermia is a very perspective approach to the to make safe our long-term missions for the space exploration, make more safety. So in the hibernation process, the approach of hypothermia is the most popular and abundant. So we have different states of hypothermia, deep and profound. So deep 27 degrees and profound 17 degrees. In the experiments of hypothermia in the standard conditions, so without change gravity, you see that only 4% of release of glutamate we see, and it's normal conditions for us. But in the hypothermia conditions at 27 degrees and 17 degrees, we observed extreme decreasing of the extracellular glutamate percentage, and it confirms our propositions for the usage hypothermia approach for the neuroprotective treatment. So On this diagram, you see that transporter-mediated glutamate release under hypothermia conditions and release of glutamate 15% at the 37 degrees, at 27 approximately 8.5, and at 17 approximately 5%. SCCP also was used for the creation of these conditions that's similar to the change grade. So here you see the comparison of results. Diagram A is tonic release of glutamate at different conditions, but without changed grade. Diagram B, transporter-mediated glutamate release at 37 degrees. You see that these columns, it's release of glutamate during standard conditions, and this column results after the gravity change. But this diagram C, after hypothermia applying and gravity also changed, we see that release, transporter-mediated glutamate release decreased after hypothermia, and for this implementation of idea, NASA developed models TPA-5 in 2013 year, and you see that this baseline torpor-enabled candidate model for the 6 crew members was developed, and they will implement this module for the long-term interplanetary missions on the Mars. So I think that it's very good idea, but different negative factors we can find because of feeding of crew members is very difficult, because of we should use interparenteral and intravenal feeding. So what means that soluble in fats. I don't know how to maybe implement it. Also for the each crew member, it should be very specific percent of different nutrients and supplements. So I think that development of this idea very good, but very difficult. So conclusions, you see that interplanetary missions from on the Mars very interesting, but very dangerous. One of the possible problems is neurotoxicity of glutamate, because of the increased level of extracellular glutamate can cause neurodegenerative diseases. So hypothermia is approach for the decreasing of this level and normalization. And our experiments proved by the data that we obtained that hypothermia can serves as a neuroprotective approach. And thank you for attention.
Як ми на англійській будемо говорити, чи українській? Питання, будь ласка.
Можно мне как особо любопытному? Насколько же планируется понижать температуру у человека в этой программе НАСА?
Спасибо за вопрос. Они разрабатывают план гибернации, и сейчас делают, ну то есть были очень много экспериментов на животных, но ввиду того, что животные у них...
Понятно, это еще...
Ну да. На ваш вопрос ответ будет неоднозначным, потому как планировать они ничего не могут ввиду недостаточности данных экспериментальных.
И еще один вопрос.
Так.
Я не знаю, знаете ли вы, ну, может быть, в тех работах, которые в НАСА были, они это анализировали, по-моему, лет 30 тому, лет 20, может быть, тому назад, в операциях на сердце использовали гипотермию. Это было немного и нечасто, и достаточно быстро отказались. Анализировали ли результаты тех реальных экспериментов на людях, которые тогда были?
Спасибо за вопрос. Я читал разные статьи по поводу операций на мозге, и они достаточно хорошо себя зарекомендовали, потому как в выборке из тех людей, которые были оперированы при гипотермии, около 80% выжили, а те, которые были оперированы без гипотермии, они, к сожалению, погибли.
Можно я добавлю? Сейчас гипотермия – это самый популярный метод по лечению инсульта и операции на сердце. Он применяется и в Украине, и в мире. И у нас партнеры...
Прямой вопрос. На какую температуру снижалась?
До 18 градусов. У нас есть...
Локально или всего тела?
По-моему, там всего общее кровообращение снижается в мозге 18 градусов.
Мозга я понимаю. Всего тела...
Да, общая система искусственного кровообращения.
Искусственная система должна снижаться. Температура тела, то есть всех органов тоже снижалась? Нет.
Значит, орган вы мозг, 18 градусов.
Нет, 18 градусов это локальный мозг. А если речь идет о гипотермии, то снижаться должна температура всего тела. Правильно?